fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, everybody. Today, taking a look at another video where we're focusing on newer players, but also pertinent information that all players can probably use, whether you're using it for yourself or helping out people in your alliance. And let me just say this real quick. If you're not helping people in your alliance or your server, what are you doing? I mean, come on. That's what you're there for. Be a community guy. Be a community gal. Love on one another. Or just send them to my channel. I appreciate it. Anyway, back to the video. I want to talk about dual faction grinding, especially for early level players, but I will talk about rep grinding for later level players. But in the very beginning, I must stress, if you're new to the game or starting the game over, one of the best tactics I can give you is to start dual faction grinding. Now, Rev, you keep saying this, but you're not saying what it means. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Okay, so happy that you asked. So in this game, there are multiple factions. They're easy to denote on the screen. We'll take a look at the galaxy map here in a second by the colors that they have representing them. But also, if you click on this factions tab, it's right up there. See it? Click the factions tab. You'll be brought to this menu. And on this panel, you will see 5 different options. Now, there are 3 main factions in the game and 2 sub-factions. These sub-factions are for different things, and it doesn't really affect what you're doing. When we talk about dual faction grinding, we're focusing on the first 3. Federation, Klingon, and Romulan. And as a low-level player, I would recommend starting this process as early as level 14, late 16, 17, 18. But I'm currently level 22. I would even say that I'm behind a little bit in my faction grinding, yet I am at friendly, almost at favored with both Klingon and Federation, and the Romulans are hostile towards me. Now, let me explain the benefits of doing both. There are a lot of benefits to going and being dual faction grinding. For low-level players, let me just go ahead and hit you with the biggest one. And if this doesn't make you like the video, I don't know what will. The biggest issue in the game today is officer sourcing. Okay, debatable. There's a lot of issues. There's plenty of issues. There's not a shortage of issues. But one of the biggest issues in the game is definitely officer sourcing and the ability to procure officers. So what dual faction grinding allows you to do is to start sourcing some of these quicker and help you get to transporter patterns quicker. Now, if you don't know what those are, I'll recap that at the very end of this video. I've done videos on transporter patterns. In short, maxed rare and epic officers. So purples and blues pay out transporter patterns that you can use to unlock other officers later in the game. But if you can see here, my Klingon Romulan focus or Klingon Fed focus, I've got 2 shards, so I've got Gorkon unlocked. At level 22, getting epics unlocked is huge. I've said this before. You really want to have these rares at least tier 3 by level 28. At least, preferably tier 4 if you can get them. And you see I have multiple ready for tier 2. Curl ready for tier 2. Bones, ready for tier 2. Uhura, almost ready for tier 2. Now, the problem with dual faction grinding is and you can see the effect here. Look at my Nero. Look at my Romulan officers. I haven't even unlocked any of them. Dual faction grinding is allowing me to expedite some of that process when I go through my recruits because, like many players, I'm saving ultras for when there's ultra recruit events. I'm spending premium standards and Federation Romulan or Federation Klingon as soon as I can get them. So because of that, I am able to, I would say, significantly is the appropriate word, increase the amount of officers I'm unlocking every day. Now, let me just, I said I was going to wait to the end of the video, but let's not. Let's go ahead and swing over and take a look at this account. Now, I'm going to show you 2 things here. One of the reasons that I love dual faction grinding, you see my repair speed ups? I have 29,600 30-minute repair speed ups. A complaint I hear from newer players and even established players all the time is, man, ships are so expensive to repair. Man, I can't get enough speed ups to do this. I have to use Latinum. Not if you've been dual faction grinding your entire gaming career. I promise you. This account has not had to do anything Latinum-wise to speed up unless I was just lazy and wanted it instantly. Speed ups come from doing that. And if you go over to my other account, you can see the same thing where, you know, as we're going through the acquisition process, repairing ships is a pain in the keister. But here, I'm going to switch it over right now. Now, you've seen right here, 29,600. That is a significant amount. But that's also a high-level account, level 42. I play it every day. So a lot of people are going to be like, well, there's no way it's that good on your baby account. Okay, so a baby account that I don't play actively on every day. Like I don't finish my dailies every day. I have got 384 30-minute speed ups. So That's what, 190 hours of 30-minute speed ups. Then 35 hours there. The 50s I think I got from when I bought a pack. But you know, all my repair speed ups here, and I get these every day by going through the dailies, because when you do dual faction grinding, you're going to get multiple dailies offered to you for each faction. So if you go over your daily goals, you'll see that, look, I've got my hostile hunter and my hostile harbinger, but then if I keep scrolling, I've got Federation warrior, Klingon warrior, and look, payouts for those 30-minute speed ups. So I'm going to get 10 30 minutes. I'm going to get 5 hours worth of speed ups every day just from the faction hostile grinding that I do at the basic level. If I go up to the next level, which is killing 27s, I'm going to get 8 and 8, 16. So 8 hours worth of, so 13 total hours just from these, not counting my regular hostile daily, which is this, and as well as my swarm dailies. So you can see how quickly that adds up, because if you're a low level player, no ships you have are costing you 13 hours a day to speed up. No ship. I'm sorry, unless you just blow up a ridiculous amount of Vidars and Kiras and stuff, you're not spending that much in a day, so they start adding up. And even days where it ends up being really difficult, like you've got a heavy territory capture day and you blow up a lot. Well, those aren't every day, so this allows you to quicken that pace a little bit. Now, as you progress, remember that those dailies are based on your rep, so they will get harder. At level 22, I can do level 27 hostiles really easily with my North Star, or even if I had a Kira here to run, or a Voklis. My Voklis actually is built, but I'm working on leveling it up. I'm not going to take it very far, but it's helping me progress faster. Officers, speed ups, obviously the big things. Now, let's talk about faction locking. That was a question for a lot of people. We'll get our friend Riker. Hey, Riker, what's the answer? What are the faction locks? Look at him appearing on screen. That is just so, thank you, Jonathan Frakes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, sir. The faction locks, and what I mean by reputation locks, once you get to these points, they will never decrease. So what you find is dual faction grinding is big for lower level players, but eventually you want to try faction lock is what most people recommend. Low level players will dual faction all the way to these tri locks, and then there becomes a different discussion. Well, should I focus on one faction, or should I focus on two factions when I've got past 10 million? But for starters, we're going to start with the reputation locks at 10 million each. So 10 million is the first set of locks where once you reach there, it'll never go below. So if you get your Federation to 10 million, you could go and just destroy every Federation ship you see. You'll never drop below 10 million. Don't ask why that's the logic. It just is. So if my Federation gets there, it'll never drop below. And 1 billion is the one after that, and then 15 billion is the one after that. So 1 billion and 15 billion are obviously going to be higher level players, higher level locks. 10 million, and it might sound daunting, but I promise you it's not that hard to get to. In fact, you saw the video I put out where a level 20 player has already done this. So if they can do it, well, you most certainly can do it. So coming back right here, I want to switch to my other screen just to give you an example so you know I'm not lying to you. Here's my main account. You can see Federation, 10 million. I hunt Federation every day because I am Romulan and Klingon focused. See, my Romulan's committed, my Klingon is respected. But my Klingon rep is right at 24 million. My Federation will never drop below that, though. And this still allows me to focus on officer procurement if I haven't maxed out, or allows me to do other paths to help improve my gameplay because I maxed those out. Now, first thing new players usually ask me is, when should I have these maxed out by? Honestly, the tri-faction lock before level 34 is fantastic, but you really don't need it until 34. But if you can dual faction grind and lock, and you're able to complete your dailies and do everything at a reasonable amount, then there you go. That's kind of all you need. Now let's back out real quick. I want to show you transporter patterns and then talk about mining real quickly. I hate mining, but it is a part of the game. So I think I'd be remiss if I didn't at least talk about it a little bit. Gosh, I hate mining. But anyway, here's my main account. Now I've unlocked transporter patterns. Now here's how transporter patterns work. Transporter patterns, if you have a maxed rare officer, you don't need to take them all the way to tier 5. You just need the maximum number of shards. You'll start getting transporter patterns. Or if you have an epic officer maxed, you'll start getting transporter patterns. So what does that look like, Rev Deuce? Well, so glad that you keep inquiring about important questions. Let's take a look at my 6 of 11. This is an option for me to turn in. You see at the top right, I've got 26,000 transporter patterns. If I click 10,000, well, hey, I'm instantly going to get now 10 epic officer shards of 6 of 11. Fantastic officer for armadas. So if I earn these every day For example, if you see me do my Romulan turn-in, here, let me do my Romulan turn-in to show you me getting transporter patterns. I've got many of these officers maxed, so when I open them all up, there you go, 1,000 from opening up that chest because I have all my rares maxed except, and Nero is not maxed yet. That pays me out transporter patterns. Simple enough. All right, let's take a look at mining real quick. I'm not a big miner, but it is something that we want to do every day. We want to turn in our refinery every day. This will make mining a little bit more tedious because you'll have to do 2 of them. But just like you had dailies for the grinding of hostiles, you also have dailies for excavating your nodes here. See, crystal and gas is what I have because I'm going positive in Klingon and Federation. But look at the big ones. So the big ones, once you finish out, will give you the rare ore that you need to refine every day. And if you're doing this twice a day with both of these, you'll have enough to do 2 refines a day with your third. That's another bonus to dual faction grinding as an early player, is it actually takes away your need to mine the third. So it seems like it does more, but it actually helps you out more in the long run. And if you keep them even, you see, the goal is when you're dual faction grinding to keep the reps even as you go up. You see, I'm friendly with both. That will mean that it's a lot easier to avoid having, you know, harder dailies on one than the other. Now, you will naturally struggle to keep one of them up because when you hunt hostiles, it's a 2-to-1 ratio on the points that you get. I'll show that real quick before I leave. Before we wrap up here for all you players, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So you see I'm in Sufade, a Romulan system. If I click this Romulan train fighter, you see I'm getting twice as many Klingon points as I am Federation points. So there will come days where you just need to focus on completing Federation dailies and not your Klingon in this instance so that you can keep them even. Or, you know, whether it be the daily that you collect here in your events, you'll get an event daily for any of these or all of these every day. If you're positive, maybe you just do the Federation one like I'm doing today and don't do the Klingon one to try to make sure that they stay even. But anyway, there's a lot of benefits to being a dual faction grinding player, and you will honestly set yourself up for success above that of what a lot of your peers are doing, because not a lot of them are doing it. Every day I meet new players who've not dual faction ground. So anyway, join the Discord if you want more tips. Ask questions down below in the comment section of this video. I want to hear from you, especially if you're a new player. Share this out on all the new servers, 83, 75, 78, etc. And if you're a veteran player, how about we have a discussion about what do you recommend? Do you like to dual faction grind to 1 billion, or do you like to single faction grind? I have my opinions, and maybe we'll cover that in another video. Share this out with your friends, your family, your baby mama, baby daddy, anybody who plays Star Trek Fleet Command or should be playing Star Trek Fleet Command. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. I'll catch you on the next one. And I'm out. Yep. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.